showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Styling and profiling. Woo, it's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. What's going on, brother? Happy Monday.
Happy Victory Monday, brother. Happy Victory Monday. And it is a woo type of day.
It is.
And styling and profiling would be our defense.
No doubt about it.
I went back and watched that game again, Tommy, so I could do the good, bad, and the ugly. And I will tell you, one, I'll come up front. I was wrong about Shaq.
Because you were saying that. Yep.
From a pass rushing standpoint, Shaq was on point. Run defense, Shaq was out of position a lot and allowed quite a few big runs. So what I was seeing was from a run defense where I was really mad at him. I didn't notice him with the pass rushers until I went back and rewatched it. And I have to give the man his credit because I was hard on him yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
So, you know.
All right. Hey.
At least
you owned up.
Yeah,
you owned up.
You know, like I said, it's hard to tell from the broadcast view. When you go back and watch the All-22, it's much easier.
No, 100%. By the way, guys, so for those that don't know, now you do, the Monday night show, Primetime Bills Talk, will be every Monday at 9:30. This is official. I know last week I told you different, but this is it, 9:30. It's good for everybody, and we're keeping it like that. So, 9:30 Primetime Bills Talk with me and Mikey. Here we go. So, just wanted to throw that out.
Let's talk. I felt like, I don't know, did you feel after yesterday's? I almost felt like we were Debbie Downers at one point. Like I wasn't excited about the 37-3 win as I saw so many just blatant errors that we could clean up.
We've had those moments though, Mikey. We've been doing this now. This is our third season working together, me and you. And we've had plenty, believe it or not, Mikey, because I was thinking about that too when we got off air. I'm like, damn, we were kind of a little Debbie Downer in a way, but we've had games, post games that we were like that we won, and yet we were not disappointed, but just throwing a lot of shade on things we didn't like, and concentrating more on the bad than the good. And sometimes it sucks. Sometimes I understand from the chat side of things, like, bro, come on, guys, like
we just
you
won.
Can't be happy, right? Like 37-3,
yeah,
right. But it's like me and Mikey. It's just the way we're built. I think it's frustration. I think that boils over, and then when we get on, it's like, man, we want to talk about the frustrating parts, and sometimes it gets a little bit overloaded, and it is what it is.
Daniel's right. Daniel comes in and says it's this high-powered, high-caliber Bills team that spoiled us. And you know what? 5 years ago, the 37-3, we would have been tooting on horns.
Oh my
pretending
God.
like there was no issues. Like it would have been. I see little things that could be corrected, and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't we do this? I don't understand why we're not changing this. And you know, I wanted to come on here, as you know, and say. I was extremely happy we got the W yesterday. It may not have come off that way. I was really happy. And during the rewatch, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. Like some of the errors that I thought were happening wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was after rewatching it.
I do want to show something real quick. On one of our many complaints yesterday. And I'm going to share this, and I totally agree. And this is nothing new, by the way, but I do respect this guy's opinion. Very, very rare do I do national media stuff that I respect, but he's one of them. So let me show this real quick to you guys, and then I'll get your thoughts on this, Mikey, though I think you're going to totally agree with it. So let me Let me share this with you guys real quick. All right. I don't know if that's on screen. If it is, let me know, Mikey.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Here we go.
So real quick, in Cincinnati, getting ready for Monday Night Football tomorrow night, but just rewatch the Bills game. And Bills, fans, organization, I feel I've said this for 2 years. When they consistently commit to putting Josh Allen underneath the center and using play action pass, that offense can play with anybody. Anybody. But they have to consistently do it. When they do it, one, it definitely calms Josh down just a little bit. Two, he becomes very aggressive but not reckless with the football. He pushes the ball downfield, and he can because of the arm. It allows Gabe and Steph to get downfield. It mixes the tight ends into the pass game. Josh, you can see him. Like he goes to go big play there, check down. Big play there, I'm going to be aggressive with the ball. You can just watch the player, and he becomes elite on a consistent basis. It helps their offensive line. The protection's much better. I think they did it like 5 or 6 times today. I bet you there's one incompletion, probably 130 plus yards of offense, at least one touchdown. They brought an extra offensive lineman in like 4 or 5 times today. So, 6 offensive linemen, but consistently they have to do that. When they consistently do that, that offense is as good as anybody's in the NFL over the course of 4 quarters. I want to see Buffalo do that on a consistent basis. Sounds simple. Commit to that offense, and that quarterback as good as anybody.
So what'd you think, man?
I don't disagree with that at all.
Right.
It's what we've been asking for. Get him under center, do a little bit of running, run the play action,
Right.
Why don't we then throw a little bit of motion in there and do a little misdirection? Like there's so many things we can do better and would help Josh and this offense that we just don't do. I feel like we're very predictable sometimes. We've talked about this at length.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We get in the shotgun, we don't motion, we don't do misdirection, and we just have guys run curls, flats, crossers, deep balls, outs, and that's it. There's no razzle dazzle. There's no scheming them up to do things. It's just what it is, and it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and that's why. Because you know why? We know what this Bills offense is capable of. We've seen this Bills offense under Brian Daboll. And I gotta say, listen, Brian Daboll's guilty of it too. He had Josh Allen in a shotgun many times. It's not like this is. But I think what I think, and I come to realization. I really truly believe Ken Dorsey just took Brian Daboll's playbook pretty much and hasn't really sprinkled in much of anything of his, and maybe he has taken out the trick plays, the different looks, the more just different kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, just different plays that he took out that helped the Bills. I felt like he took out of the playbook, and he's just gone with the basic Brian Daboll playbook. I feel like this is his Brian Daboll system without the tricks, right? Without him being
the razzle
dazzle, anything different, like he took out the pop pass, right? Like I don't see that anymore. That was Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll did that many times in games. I don't see this motion handed off to McKenzie or handed off to. They did it once
with
they
Hardy,
did it once
didn't work.
with Hardy. It didn't work. But once is not good. You got to try it. When you got weapons like Hardy, is one of my point. Who's a much better route runner than Isaiah McKenzie. You should have that in your playbook. You should design play specifically for Hardy. And I don't see it. I see very basic design plays for Hardy. Very basic. Nothing that is using him for his, what he has as an advantage, which is speed, yards after catch. You could throw a slant to Hardy for 4 yards, and he could literally take it to the house with that speed. But they're not doing that. They're doing these bubble screens, screen passes, wide receiver screens. It's not working. And I just don't see why he doesn't change things up in the course of a game with the weapons he has. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And it's the same stuff we've been saying since last year. We want to see things schemed up more. Well, you go look at Kyle Shanahan, a lot of motion misdirections. You're watching McVay, watching McDaniel in Miami. McDaniel runs nonstop motion, and if you just run the motion one time and hand it off, you're telegraphing what you're doing. You have to run him that way a bunch and a bunch and a bunch and a bunch, and then one time you give it to him. It's setting them up for it.
What I was looking for is creative. So it's almost like he took Brian Daboll's creative side out of it, but he didn't add his creative side into it. That's where I was trying to. My mind was off somewhere, but he just hasn't sprinkled in anything creative into that playbook. That's pretty much, like I said, Daboll's playbook, and that's the frustrating part. And then he took the bad of Daboll as well in the playbook, like the shot always in shotgun, never under center, right? He's still doing like the things we hated when Daboll was here. I will give some credit, though, where credit is due. I will say this. Ken Dorsey is running the ball, having the Bills run the ball way more than Brian Daboll ever did to start a season. And it's showing. James Cook, by the way, second in the league in rushing. And he's also running Josh way less than ever before.
Yeah, the design runs.
So you have to give Dorsey a little bit of love for that, because that was going to kill Josh Allen's career in the long run. Okay? And that I will give credit to Ken Dorsey, because he understood that cannot be a long-term thing when it comes to Josh Allen. Use it when you have to. Use it in the playoffs. I don't give a shit. Like, if that's what you do in the playoffs and it works, great. Dial them up. But no reason to dial them up every game in a regular season, because then playoffs come, Josh is totally beat up. And that's another thing, too, we never talked about. Josh Allen heading into the playoffs, totally beat up every single season from running. 700 yards for a quarterback is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like he shouldn't have that many carries. Shouldn't be our second leading rusher on our team. That's wild. I love it when he runs here and there, but like I said,
I liked it this week. How he used it this week was perfect.
Yeah, but he also didn't design some of those. Some of those Josh Allen just decided
all of them were Josh Allen,
except for the quarterback sneaks. That's fine. Like that I don't really consider but I understand. I totally get it. That's what I want to see. But anyways, that there is some positives to take away from Ken Dorsey's play calling is what I'm trying to say. But there is a ton of negatives that he needs to work on.
If you listen to the players say that the playbook is one of the best that they loved. There's plays in there that is schemed up for each receiver. The problem is we haven't seen it.
I don't see it.
Like, we hear it from Sherfield, you hear it from Hardy, you hear it from Shakir, you hear it from Diggs. You hear about this playbook and this, how it's so, so complex and all these things, but we have yet to see it on the field.
I have yet to see it. I have yet to see anything creative from Ken Dorsey since year one.
Yes, Daniel, I do. I love that Josh slid and he's been more selective about his running.
Yes, smart. He's playing much smarter.
So, Tommy, I want to talk about this. We were talking about this offline. You did a video today where it had, stock up, stock down. And Bills Wire had Josh Allen as stock down because of his interception.
Yeah, surprising. They
First
also
off, that's
said
crap. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Because they also said that the pass to Diggs where the guy almost got his hand on it was a bad throw. That was a fantastic throw. He's one of 3 people in the NFL that can make that throw.
By the way, that ball was still like a tight spiral.
Right? So if he did get his hand on it, it didn't matter. Josh threw it through him.
Broke his finger, maybe, possibly going through. But yeah, no, I'll take that. I'll take that every time. That's what Josh does. It was nowhere near an interception. That was a perfect pass. You got it. Sometimes, like I will say, sometimes writers and stuff, they don't really understand that, some of those throws you got to make tight throws like that sometimes to get to the receiver. And when you have a strong quarterback like Josh Allen, he can make those throws, and that's okay. Like, that's not near an interception. To me, near an interception is week 1 to the Jets linebacker.
Where he
that's
just
near,
didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was dead in his hands, like a terrible throw. That's near an interception. I understand that, but this was nowhere near. That was a that was a perfect pass. Perfect. Got where it needed to go. That's all.
I mean, because the guy got close. This is NFL. A lot of passes come in where guys are close.
Ton.
Now, even the interception, it was a one-on-one 50-50 ball that that every quarterback throws in this league. It was an interception because Gabe had a horrible play on it. He didn't become the defender at all. There was no jumping. There was no nothing. Almost like he didn't see it. You know what? And I can live with that type of, Josh giving his guys an opportunity to go downfield. I can live with that throw.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think Knox did one time, I want to say. I believe. I could be wrong, but remember.
He did one time.
All right.
It was a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Line up and push a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback 1 yard.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't have to listen. Knox isn't used to taking snaps. I'd rather see Josh Allen just get under center, take the snap.
Yeah, you don't need to be cute.
Turn around and hand it to your 6'3", 240-pound running back that you have in Murray and let him bulldoze his way in. Either one.
I agree. I totally agree. Chuckles World's coming in. I think Dorsey holding the offense back to reel Josh back and understand he doesn't need to do everything by himself. So here's what I'm thinking too. And that's a great point. I do think in a way, Mikey, I do think it's possible that Ken Dorsey has made these last two games safe, but effective offensive play calling. Doesn't want to go crazy. Doesn't want to do anything that we don't need to do to win a game, right? Like yesterday's game, I think, once again, it was kind of like week 2. Safe and effective. Get the ball out quick. Take your easy throws. Don't do anything, crazy. Don't throw the ball downfield 75 yards. Like, that's not Ken Dorsey, because the one thing we complained about in year 1 with Ken Dorsey was he was having Allen just toss the ball downfield on a constant basis, right? Especially in week, I want to say week 3, week 4. He was just chucking the ball constantly downfield. I feel like this season so far, at least in week 2 and 3, he's really slowed down that way of play calling. He's taken really short yardage passes, just safe but effective, running the ball more. So yeah, it's very possible he's just trying to reel this offense back, get it back and on track, and maybe do that stuff later down the road when we really need to, and we might need to this weekend, where we might need better play, more creative. Yeah, open it up some more on offense. But I think week 2 and 3, if that's what he's doing, I'm good with that. Like I'm fine with that. But we definitely need to see more moving forward against better teams.
I will say this.
Yeah, go for it.
I hope that's what he's doing, but I have yet to see him really open it up and scheme things up and have a brilliant, type of game plan that I'm just like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I don't see the Kyle Shanahan's or the Sean McVays or the LaFleurs or the McDaniels or, even the Detroit Lions offense where they do a lot of stuff. I don't see any. I've never seen any of that out of Dorsey,
right?
Which is concerning to me, because I don't I want to think that he has that in him, but maybe he doesn't, and I have yet to see it. And everyone's like, well, they're just wearing them back in, and they didn't have to open. My concern is, at what point do they open it up? Did Miami have to open it up to 70 points yesterday? No, but they did.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in a way, but we're not Miami, and we don't have, they have different weapons than we do. Let's be real. They probably have a better receiving core. I mean, I'm talking about all together.
Yeah, but
they have a lot more speed,
easy throws.
No, I get it. I totally get it. They're just, but I will say this too, though. Their offensive coordinator, which is their head coach, is far right now way better than Ken Dorsey. He's been around probably longer, been doing it longer. He's built that team. He's a head coach. It's not like Sean McDermott. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from, but I think you're comparing. You can't really compare them to us. But I understand where you're coming from, and I'm with you. Like, he has to be creative, and he has to start showing it sooner, where it's just like, hey, this is just who he is, and this is what this offense is going to be. Y-Town's King coming in with week 4 coming on Sunday. Does Justin Shorter come off PUP, or do the Bills shut him down for the year?
So Justin Shorter has when they come off PUP, they have a 20-day window that opens up after week 4 that they either have to bring him back or shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see over the next 2 weeks what happens. If nobody gets hurt, I think they just shut him down for the year. If someone does get hurt, I can see them bringing him back. But at this point, they have a 20-day window after this week's game. So I have a feeling they're going to use all 20 days and then make a decision.
I think the even bigger question in Y-Town's King is, do they dress Kaiir Elam against the Dolphins, who had the best? I think they wound up having the best grade for a DB against the Dolphins last season, which is Kaiir Elam. Yeah, both games. So very interested to see, but I have a strong feeling, Mikey. No, I think they're going to continue what they've been doing. I don't see why they would make that, even though I disagree. I think that would be a bad decision, but I just have a weird feeling that this is going to be like this
all year,
the rest of the season, all year,
unless
they trade him, which then
or there's an injury. Yeah,
correct.
An injury.
Or if there's an injury to Dane Jackson when he comes in late in the game or whatever, but
Benford or whoever.
Or Benford gets hurt. Yeah, exactly. But right now, I just think there's this. It's weird too. I respect most of the reporters here, but man, some of them don't ask these. Like, I don't hear these questions like that we're asking. Like, Josh under center, is that ever going to be a thing? Is Kaiir Elam? What do you guys think about? He had really good games last year. Like, I just want to know what hey, why is Kaiir Elam? Is there any plan to have Kaiir Elam suit up this season? Like, I know they're not going to answer it. I know he's not, but at least I would like to see what he says. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I've heard it. I don't think I've heard that question.
No, they don't ask that question. Okay. Because I think they get a list of things that they can and can't say at the beginning because I think it comes down to competitive advantage. Asking about Kaiir being active and inactive, I think there's a certain way they can ask it, but they asking if Josh will ever be under center full time, that's a competitive advantage thing. They can't. I don't think they can ask that. I think there's certain things that they're just not allowed to ask because of the way the team
game
does
planning
things.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. And I think that has part of it because I can't imagine that our beat reporters aren't thinking the same thing we're thinking. I think there's certain things they're allowed and not allowed to ask inside there and those things probably go into they probably either are right up to the line or over the line of the things they can't ask, so they don't ask because they also don't want to get end up on that crap list either.
I gotcha. I don't know. I just
which I'd love to, maybe we reach out to Talbot and them and ask if that's an actual thing.
I'll ask Mookie. I talked to Mookie.
Yeah, ask Mookie.
I talked to Mookie. I'll ask Mookie like, what's the how does that work when reporters do those press conferences? Because I am curious because I've seen some rough questions come in to players and coaches and they just kind of avoid it or move on or whatever. So I don't know. That is a good question. I'll ask Mookie.
Yeah. And Don comes in and says they did ask it in a press conference at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, doesn't talk about weekly strategies. I think they were talking about a big picture roster stuff. They don't talk about inactives and game day, jerseys and stuff like that. I don't know if they can. I'd be interested to hear what Mookie had to say about that.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll get on that.
And it might just be it's an unwritten rule you don't ask questions like that.
Certain ones, yeah, it's possible. Very possible. Very, very possible.
Yep. So I think it's time for the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, let me get my little cool sound bit for you, buddy, because everybody loves it so much. Let's see here. Here we go.
It's my favorite.
Here we go.
The good. The bad. The ugly.
I love it. Yeah. So let's start with the good. We'll start on offense. Stephon Diggs had himself a day yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he really did. He was home because he's from the area, and he put on a show.
He actually had his. I don't know if you saw, his nephew was there catching. Because now you get to see Buffalo pregame, right?
Yep. I did watch it. Matter of fact, they interviewed him. They interviewed Aiden, which was awesome.
He actually caught a pass from Stephon. I don't know if you saw that. There was a clip on, I think, YouTube. It was like a news station. It wasn't that, but it was like another one. Mm-hmm. And Stephon threw it, and he caught it. He's a little dude, man. I was surprised. Big old football man. I'm like, damn.
Well, he's a Diggs.
He's a Diggs. Yeah.
He's a Diggs. Our offensive line. Big shout out to our offensive line.
Yeah, bro.
They held it down. They kept Josh clean all day. The one time Josh got hit is when he ran out of bounds and fell down trying to pick up the late hit. Right.
Yep.
And the guy just touched him. That was it. Other than that, like, they touched him in the pocket, but he got away from it. So, big shout out to our O-line for holding up against that team.
And I still don't think and I still don't think they got the love from outside. I mean, it's funny because going into that game, everybody was talking about that front of the Commanders. I believe they were leading the league in sacks up to that point. They were top 5 in almost every category there. And I felt like the offensive line handled their business, and everybody else was talking about the screen game. If the Bills can, and no, I just feel like we beat teams like this, and it just flies under the radar. Like, I don't know. It's a little disappointing sometimes. It's like, but if we would have lost them or play like crap, we would be first on everybody's radar. How bad we play, how their offensive line look like shit. Like, but yet our offensive line plays good. Nobody talks about it outside of us. It's just like wild to me, man.
It's how it is. One of those things. Our run game was the other good. On offense, our run game.
Yeah.
It starts off a little slow, but by the second half, we wore him down. Because here's the thing: Josh Allen uses that short, quick game as an alternative to the run too, and makes him run around. And we were putting together 8, 10, 12, 14 play drives that are taking up anywhere from 6 to 9 minutes. And that's keeping the defense on the field a long freaking time. By the second half, they're worn down, and now we're busting them. For long ones, and I like it. I like the way they're doing it.
I was a little disappointed in the run game. A little. By the way, I said a little. Okay. Because I loved how they did it week 2, the design of it, how they got Harris and Murray involved early. Mm-hmm. I just didn't like how they designed it up this week. And I really feel like Dorsey, once again, is missing it here. And it's right in front of his eyes, man. And this is enough. And it's weird. Now I'm dogging Dorsey, the guy I did nothing but say good things about and support. Mm-hmm. But it's like, here's another thing. It's like staring him right in his face. And I can't stand coaches that do something right in a game, find something that works, and then go away from it. It's so frustrating. And week 2, I kind of felt like Dorsey stumbled upon something, and I don't even know if he meant to do it. It's just because James Cook wasn't running well in the first quarter and early in that game, week 2, put Murray in, and then I think he just, okay, Murray's breaking him down a little bit. And then, okay, let's put Harris in there. And then I thought for sure, and we talked about this going into week 3, was, okay, maybe Dorsey saw that and is going to use them more and go, hey, now we got this 3-headed monster, guys that can just bulldoze that defensive line, get them more down, and let's throw Cook in there and gash him up, right? And here we go, week 3, and we see Murray get, 4 or 5 carries total. Most of them came late in the game. I just think he's doing it backwards again. James Cook got going in that game late in the game once again. Late. He picked up most of his yards later in the game. Late mid-second, late quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. By that time, the defense was wore out. They were on the field, right? But if you get Harris and Murray in there earlier, James Cook could even be more dangerous early on, late in the first quarter going into the second, because by then the defense is really getting tired of those guys just banging through the middle. And I just feel like he's not doing it right. You have the guys there, and it's so frustrating, man, when I see Harris get 1-2 carries, Murray get 3 carries. It's unacceptable, and especially on short yardage. 4th and 1. You don't have, fine, don't do quarterback sneak. You got Murray. Why are we doing shotgun? So that's my frustrations with the run game. We have it up. Listen, we have the offensive line now, Mikey. You have McGovern. You have Osiris Torrance. You have those blockers now. Use it. You have bigger backs now. Use them. That's where I'm frustrated with the run game. Other than that, I'm happy that he's running the ball, just not how he's doing it.
Okay, so you're more upset with the game plan rather than the actual run game.
How he's using his personnel.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. The run game was good yesterday. We ran for 160 something yards. I'll tell you, his game plan and his personnel usage isn't in the good. So So to counter what you were saying, yes, I do agree. Let's switch over to the defense side of the ball, because I thought I didn't really put Josh as part of the good. I thought Josh was okay. I didn't think it was one of his best games. I think he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's used his legs, ran for a touchdown, got us some first downs.
I thought he played well.
He wasn't spectacular, but he played well. Which is fine. I'm good with that. Defense. I'll start pass rushers. Our defensive line sacked him 9 times, and we had like an 80%, pressure rate yesterday. Like every time he dropped back, he had somebody in his face. Even when he got the ball off, he still had somebody in his face.
Right.
It was awesome. It's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, that pass rush is starting to become effective. I just cannot wait till Von Miller gets back. I keep saying that because I'm super excited, but it's good to see. It's good to see guys like Leonard Floyd, has 3.5 sacks
already.
I believe he's 5th or 6th in the league right now in sacks, something like that. But he's on pace to get his 9 out of 10. I mean, maybe more. Yep. I mean, it depends on how he keeps going, but I love what I see from him. He still has a lot of juice in the tank. Gas in the tank, whatever you want to say. And man, I that was a great signing, and everybody I feel like is starting to play better, and that probably comes down to as well. And I'll throw this out there. It comes down to leadership with the veteran players like Leonard Floyd. That comes down to McDermott now, who's not only your head coach but your defensive coordinator, who gets to talk one-on-one with the defense. So I just feel like it's a different vibe right now in that defensive room compared to when Frazier, and it's no knock on Frazier. I think Frazier did a great job here. He did a very good job. He was here a long time. Our defense was top 10 while he was here, but we had the players to be more aggressive, and that was his downfall. He just never used them the correct way, in my opinion. And now McDermott and start throwing these more exotic looks, more exotic blitzes. By the way, linebacker blitzes
all day yesterday, and they weren't just linebacker blitzes. There was pressures. So when we sent the linebacker, we dropped one of the DNs.
Right.
So we were still only rushing 4. It was just which 4 coming.
Just a faster. Like, and that's one thing about Bernard. Bernard can get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
That dude has some speed on him, and he can tackle. So something once again that he just didn't utilize our linebackers last season under Frazier. So man, it's super exciting to see where this defense can go, and especially, like I said, when Von returns, what he'll dial up on defense.
Ed Oliver starting to show out.
Oh, he is, man.
He really is. Like, is 3rd in the team in tackles.
He's every time I see him, Mikey, he is just whiffing past the center or guard or
splitting double teams.
Yeah.
Like his run defense has just been gotten so much better this year.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
He's living up so far to his contract extension. Put it that way. You know what I mean?
Daniel Gardy says, "How upset can you be with a game plan that leads to a 37-3 victory?" It was 16-0 going into the fourth quarter, so it wasn't like we just romped them through the whole
And Daniel,
thing.
that's it. And if you think about it, I know 16-0 sounds like a big score going in fourth, but not really. It's only two scores, right? Two touchdowns, 8 points. That's it. You're tied up, and that can easily happen in the NFL. Happens all the time. And 16-0, that should have been
28,
30. 28, 30 nothing if we score touchdowns instead of field goals. So I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, sometimes that doesn't work against better teams. For example, let's say hypothetically you're up 16-0 in the going on the fourth quarter against the Dolphins. Who could score like that? It's not good enough. Do you want to be up 16-0 or do you want to be up 28, 30-0 against a better team? Of course. So that's all we're saying. We love the fact they were up. We love the fact the final result, but they have to correct things if they want to, win a Super Bowl.
We were given short fields and we didn't capitalize, and that was
absolutely
that was the frustrating part. Granted, we did get the field goals, which is great. We're still, as Josh said, every drive with a kick, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or a touchdown, we want more touchdowns.
That's it.
Yep. So then our coverage team, was fantastic.
It was.
Bernard with another pick. We saw the return of takeaway Trey, which was awesome. Micah got one on
that
a
was
simulated. Dude, that play was perfect. They simulated the pressure, so they brought Milano on a blitz on the inside, which gave Epinesa a free run. So he like lofted up over Epinesa and allowed him to break on it and pick it off. It was like perfectly schemed. It was awesome.
Right.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I feel bad for Edmonds, by the way. God, it was his choice to sign there, but man, that team's just, you're talking about a team, Mikey, that is just I don't know if I've ever seen that where a team's just falling apart by week 3. Where your DC gets arrested or whatever, and he's resigned, and players are, quarterbacks talking about coaches, and coaches are talking about players, and it's a mess over there.
It's a dysfunction.
But you signed a contract.
You wanted that money,
right? So it is what it is. That
you wanted that money. So,
right.
They're saying that Bernard's already better than Edmonds. I don't think he's better than Edmonds. He's had bigger plays. What Bernard's providing is what we wanted Edmonds to provide, and that's the splash plays. The interceptions, the fumble recoveries, the sacks. We wanted to see Edmonds do more of that stuff. Like Edmonds would get his hands on the ball, he just wouldn't come down with it. Hey Dallas, what's going on, brother? So
yeah, he was not good with that.
Yeah,
he wasn't a good ball.
He couldn't finish. He couldn't finish the splash play that we were looking for.
But he was a hell of a player. Still is.
He's a fantastic.
I think he's up there in tackles. I think he's, I don't know, top 3 in tackles right now. He's up there. Edmonds. I was looking at the tackles there. He's way ahead of Bernard. If you guys go looking at player stats, tackles, Edmonds is I think he's like 15 higher, 20 higher, something crazy like that. Edmonds is a very, very good player. Don't get it twisted. But
I still don't think they're using him right. I think he'd be better outside backer.
They are absolute. Can you imagine, hypothetically, and I hope it, God forbid, if it ever did, if Edmonds was like with the Cowboys next to Parsons, and they used him correctly, which they probably would, because that's how they use Parsons. But let's not get it twisted. I love what I see from Bernard early on, but he still has work to do. And if he could continue what he's doing so far, week 2, week 3, because I thought week 1 he was okay, but I thought week 2 he played very good. Week 3 he played excellent, and that's only going to boost his confidence. And I will say one thing good about Bernard, that is a difference between Edmonds. Edmonds came in here as a rookie on a very young defensive team. Bernard came here with a very veteran team around him. Von Miller. Right now, he has Leonard Floyd. He has guys around him. Jordan Phillips, so guys around him, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, these guys are only going to help this dude get better and better. And yeah, he should get better, and he probably will. I do want to see him put some more weight on in the future, just because I think he should get a little bit bigger. And I'm not saying 20 pounds. I'm talking about 10 pounds of muscle. It's not a big deal. A lot of players do that. But I like his pass coverage. He's playing very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some coverage today on cover 1 with him, Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
He did an excellent job last week, this past game. So yeah, shout out to him. That means he's watching film study as well too. He's really dialing it in with McDermott.
You know what? It'll be a big test this week with all the crazy motions, and
this is a huge test
for him. Yep. And if he plays the way he has against Miami with all the way they scheme, that's gonna be great. Yeah.
This game will be huge.
Yeah. Daniel Garies talks about Edmonds, and I agree. He's probably going to lead the league in tackles with how bad that offense is and how much that defense is going to be on the field.
Right on the field,
and say what he doesn't make splash plays, but Edmonds is a tackling machine. It's just always 3 or 4 or 5 yards down the field. It's not tackles for loss.
Right.
But he really is a tackling machine. He doesn't miss a ton of tackles.
No, he doesn't.
Beth, I love TB so far. Oh yeah,
TB.
Terrell Bernard.
Oh, Terrell Bernard. Look at us. We're like TB Tampa. But
yeah. I do. I like what he's done so far.
By the way, just a quick update on the score. Rams are up 9-6. All field goals, obviously. Man, Bengals are playing so bad. Sorry to interrupt you, guys.
No, it's good.
Hey, Chewy. What's up, brother? Cheers.
I hope you're right, Beth. Nothing I've seen tells me that's going to happen, though.
Yeah, we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but what's funny, Mikey? Curtis emailed me today. Curtis, my buddy, guys, from Ace Per Head, great guy. Anyways, he emailed me today because he watched our film. Obviously, he's doing his homework, like the enemy should. And he was like, first he said, what's up with Poyer? And I'm like, Poyer's fine. I just left it at that. Poyer's fine, buddy. And then he asked me about Elam. He's like, what's going on with Elam not seeing the field? And I was honest with him, And the truth is, and we all got to be honest with it, is Elam hasn't adjusted to the zone defense that McDermott has quite like Benford has. Mm-hmm. Though I feel like he also hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunities, at least in game time action. And I almost feel like he's in a doghouse in a way, and for McDermott, and that's not why he's dressing, because he's going to make the 53 because they can't afford to put him on the practice squad. Somebody will scoop him up, and he's a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. But at this point, I don't see any playing time by your Elam. And I think, and like Mikey said when we first started the podcast tonight, unless there's an injury, I just don't see it happening. And at this point, and we keep saying this, just trade the guy. And it will be good for him. It will be good for us. Let that dude go somewhere where he can play football. It's not fair. It's not right. If you're not going to give him the opportunity, let that dude go get the opportunity somewhere else and get back something in return. Take the L, get back something, move on. Bills Mafia will be pissed a little bit. They'll get over it. But that's where it is. You can't just keep having them in street clothes every single week. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, here's the thing. True. I wish they would give Elam the same chances they give Spencer Brown when he struggles. Or Trinell Bernard who's been new.
But but to play devil's advocate, and that is good that you say that, but was there a better tackle at that time?
No, and I was going to say that's the issue.
Right.
And there's not a better linebacker on the team.
Right.
The problem is he's in a position group that has a lot of really good guys, so he doesn't get that, that freeway to make those mistakes.
Correct. Because let's be real. If we're all going to be real here, Christian Benford has played better. Okay. At least from what I've seen in preseason in camp, from what I heard. And Dane Jackson, whether you like him or you don't, had a pretty good preseason. And he almost earned that CB2 role, though we all thought that Benford did enough to win it, and rightfully so. And the coach made the right decision. But you can't just jump Kyer Elam over Dane. I don't think that would. Yeah, it wouldn't be fair, in my opinion. And it sucks. And it sucks to hear because he's a first-round pick. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, if Kyer Elam was a third-round pick, I don't think we would all be up in a fuss.
No.
About it. Now, because he's a first-round pick, I think, yeah, of course. I don't blame you guys. But at this point, like I keep saying, move on, and we don't even have to think about it anymore. It's over with.
They're not,
you know
they're
what
not
I mean? That's where I'm.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
I know they're not. It's just a stupid mistake. You know?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing I've seen tells me he's going to play.
Yeah, Dane is gone after this season. I understand that, but at the same time, if he cannot get with it, meaning if he can't figure out this defense under McDermott, who is now, by the way, the DC, it's not Frazier. He's the head coach DC. If he can't get in his system, McDermott's not going to find any use for him, no matter who's on. We could go ahead and get a free agent signing to take over Dane Jackson, and then that guy beats out Kyer again. Then we're here again next season talking about Kyer Elam on the bench, and then his trade value has totally diminished.
I want to hit on Chuckles' thing. It says Elam didn't put that offseason effort in to learn zone coverage. No, I don't think it's an effort issue. I don't think he fits the style of defense that we play. His skill set is not conducive to what we play. You go put him with the Ravens, you go put him with the Giants, someone who lets him just play man corner. Listen, Jalen Ramsey was the same way when he first came out. He couldn't play zone either. He was a man corner guy.
Yeah.
And that's what he was. And he still struggles in zone.
Right. Some players never adapt
it's
to
not
the change.
An
Some players
thing.
can. Yeah. Right. It's just, can they do it or not? And I think at this point it's starting to lean towards he probably can't, or he can't do it at a high level. How about that? I don't think he could do it at a high level, because I've seen him play. We all seen him play. He's shown us flashes of being a really good corner, a lockdown corner, but he's also shown flashes of just being out of place, getting beat, looking sloppy, penalties galore, holding because he's getting beat. Like, there's a lot there that's bad, and I don't think McDermott wants to deal with that on game day. He just doesn't want to,
because he has two guys who know what to do and are capable of doing the things. He's not gonna wait on this young kid to be ready to
develop into what he wants. Right.
Exactly. And that's the difference between a Spencer Brown and a Terrell Bernard versus what Kyer Elam's going through. There's nobody behind them pushing those guys.
Right.
It's just, it is what it is, Yeah. I think Kyer still has a really good chance to be a really good corner. I just don't know if it'll ever be for the Bills. I really don't.
I agree with that. I just hope it doesn't kill the kid's confidence. You know how that goes too, because he did that interview not too long ago. I know you missed it because I talked to you about it, but he was talking about, how he was down a little bit at one point because he was so used to being the best player on his team, or one of the best, all throughout, high school and college. And then he's here now, and he's low on the depth chart. You know what I mean? So he's a tough time wrapping his, finger around it, because he is. And that goes to show you though, too, he is putting the work in. It's just not happening. It's just not coming together for him.
Sometimes the system's just Zay Jones did not fit our system.
Yeah,
he went elsewhere, and he's had a really good career.
He's done
elsewhere.
Fine. That's right.
Isaiah Hodgins struggled to make our thing. He's doing well with New York. Sometimes the system just doesn't fit guys' skill sets.
Correct.
And it happens.
Yeah. Bengals just scored a touchdown. They're up 13.
He ain't gonna retire. He hasn't made that money yet.
No, yeah, he has plenty. He's a young kid, man. Young kid.
Chuckles, I would love to highlight him this week, and then we're just don't expect it. Although I do have a feeling that McDermott's going to have schemed some things up for Miami this week. Because you have to remember, we did some really good things last year with a bunch of backups against these guys.
Yeah,
now we have all of our starters back. We have
different
better coverage
linebackers,
linebackers, different coordinator. Yeah,
yep.
But we didn't have our safeties last year. We didn't have the pass rush that we have today. We have two cover linebackers now. We have Trey back. So I have a feeling
we were also missing Ed Oliver the first game.
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember, we were missing
Oliver
Hyde.
Oliver Amelano.
And Micah Hyde, who was out for the season at that point. And I think Gabe Davis also too on offense was hurt, but he was really banged up. Like we were, but on defensive side, we just weren't. It just wasn't good injury wise. And in Miami that one game, it was a nightmare just draining those guys. And then when we played them again, Von's out. So it's like,
still no Micah.
Right. Still no Micah. So now, mind you, there was no Von this game. However, there is a Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
This game that we did not have. So I do expect this game to be much different than last season when we play them. Now, they're a dangerous team, but this is still the same Miami team we've seen last year. That they did get better in the run department. Man, I will say their rookie running back is super fast. You got these guys, they have some serious speed.
Mm-hmm.
We need to really contain those
tackle.
Guys. Tackle, contain. But we're gonna get all through that, guys, Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, because then we'll ruin our Friday show to sit here.
Jessica's right. Also, Dane Jackson was out that first game against Miami too.
Yes.
And then Phillips was in and out. But let's finish the good, bad, and the ugly.
Go for it.
So then, from a special teams perspective, our kicking game was spot on. Bass was money. Martin was really good in the one punt he had. Loved our kicking
54
game.
yards, 70 or something like crazy.
Yeah, it's 54 straight down the middle in bad condition.
Yeah. I'm talking about Tyler. I don't know why you're talking about the punter. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the punter, Martin? It was a 70-yard punt.
I don't know why I was thinking.
With a 50
net at 50. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. The field goal was beautiful, by the way. 54 straight down the middle. Mm-hmm. There was with no doubt about it. That was good. That love seeing that from Tyler Bass, who's, by the way, 7 of 7 to start the season, starting off with a good season for him.
Yeah. Then coaching, loved McDermott's game plan last week. He just sent pressure from everywhere and just confused the kid. Loved it. Tip my cap to McDermott and his game plan. And really, all 3 weeks, McDermott's done really well with the game plans.
He has.
Week 1, it wasn't his fault that Josh kept giving him good field position.
Yeah, and I still thought the defense did their job.
Yeah.
They're eventually going to give up a touchdown, which they did late. And by the way, that touchdown was not easy. That was a hell of a catch.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I will say, because, Dolphin fans are riding high pretty right now, and good for them. And I totally understand. They put 70 freaking points. But they got something else coming, because I'm going to tell you now, this Bills team ain't no Broncos. We ain't no Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw when they faced a good defensive team in the Patriots, they were limited to 24 points. I think they only scored 7 in the second half of that game. And I feel like our defense is way better than the Patriots. So, yeah, and we're playing in Buffalo. Listen, this ain't going to be no cakewalk for them. Like, we're going to come prepared. We that's one thing I will say about Sean McDermott. He's most of the time, except for some stupid games in the playoffs, he comes prepared. So we'll be all right. But they better not come into Buffalo thinking it's going to be a cakewalk. Like it's just not. Like they got another thing coming. It's going to be a tough game for them. We're not going to give them anything easy.
Yeah. Where was it? Someone's in here said Denver also gave up at one point in that game. They just didn't tackle.
That was disgusting. Honestly, Mikey, that I've never seen that in an NFL game. I've seen it in college. I've seen almost 100 points in college, actually. I've never seen an NFL team give up 70 points. That was just terrible on everybody involved. Coaching, quarterback, defense. They should be all ashamed Like that is ridiculous. I don't care how good your offense is. That's miserable. Like that's uncalled for. Dolphins pull guys out late. They were still scoring with ease. You know, I don't know. Like, did you hear the players' interviews after? There was one guy who was like, sick of this shit, man. I've been here. He's like, it was like, the one dude, he's like, I've been here like 4 years, bro. All we do is freaking lose.
It was
Yeah, 7. You're right, 7. Yeah.
He's like, I've been here 7 years. All we've done is lose.
Yeah, some bullshit, man. I'm like, dude, I'm with you, man. I'd be right there saying the same thing, bro.
Yeah, right. That's what it is. So let's move over to the bad. The bad.
Yeah,
we're still giving up big plays. You know.
Yep.
It's still happening. We're still giving up big plays. Our run defense was not real good yesterday. They were actually getting clips of like 7 yards a carry. I need to see us do better. And it's tackling. We're missing tackles that are leading to these big plays and these long runs in the run game. And you do that against Miami, and those speedsters are going to take it to the house.
They're going to kill you. They're going to kill you. Yeah, I agree. You got to tackle better.
I don't understand how professional athletes and Sean McDermott defenses can't tackle. He's a freaking defensive coach.
I don't get it, and it's been that way for a long time
since he's got.
I remember that. I remember him talking about it year one. They were doing like drills, like tackling drills. I remember.
How about you get some players who know how to freaking tackle? I don't care how fast they run or if they can play multiple positions. Can they tackle?
Right.
The tackle football game. Jessica says, Tommy, like I said, the roundtable comments last week, Denver's going to melt in that heat. Oh, my God, did they melt? Oh, my God, they melted.
Yeah, ain't no joke. Yeah, ain't no joke there.
You know, yeah. Like, even the Bills, they melted down at the end. Like, Josh had a wide open guy, and he dirted it because he's just so freaking tired.
It was, McKenzie. It was miserable.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Yes,
I do. Daniel, I truly believe that Puna being there, because he's one of the big guys that helps stop the run. Right. And I love Jordan Phillips. And I don't know why Tim settles in front of Puna Ford all of a sudden.
That's strange.
But Ford is a better run defender. And, I think they sat him down because they knew it was going to be a passing game.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
And that concerns me for this week. And then it concerns me for this week that they're going to sit him down because they think it's going to be a passing game. And
maybe
Settle is a better.
Maybe, Mikey. The Dolphins are very good on the run last week, too.
Yeah. They ran for 300 yards.
That's what I mean. So I don't know what you do there. It's going to be interesting. I would definitely, to me, I'd dress Puna. What do you think about our passing game on Sunday, Mikey? Dallas coming in.
What do you think of our passing game on Sunday? I think it was average. It was very vanilla. Yep. I didn't see a whole lot of scheming up guys. It was Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, and then everybody else. My last bad is our secondary pass catchers.
Yeah,
it was horrible. Like Diggs was 1 for 4, had a bad drop. Dawson Knox had a bad drop. The other guy, Shakir, had one pass.
Lost.
Yeah, Kincaid was lost. Like, I didn't understand what the game plan was. Like, what were they trying to accomplish on offense?
I don't know. You know what's weird?
Fourth and 1, and you go into a shotgun and try to throw the ball. It made zero sense.
It seems like everything is hard on offense for us too. Like nothing is like.
And that's an offensive coordinator issue.
Yeah, no, I know, and I agree. So I'm saying, like, everything seems difficult. Like nothing, like everything we do, even our touchdowns, are tough touchdowns. Like for the most part, I mean, very rare do we just have guys this beautiful play wide open. It's like it's everything is tough to get with this offense, and it shouldn't be like that. I'm not saying it should be easy every single series, but
you watch these guys that throw wide open. Like Patrick Mahomes is throwing to wide open guys out of the backfield, and
because they're dialing it up.
Yeah, like
where's the scheme? Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like he has to. That's what I worry about Ken Dorsey. And by the way, though, it is still early. I'm not going to totally kill him, but I'll tell you what. If we're going into week 8, and it's the same shit, it is.
That's just who it is. Just who it is.
I will tap out, and I will say, moving forward, even if we won a Super Bowl, we may need to, because man, you're you have so much talent there, personnel wise, that can do a lot for this offense, and you're not using them right.
There's no creativity on the offense.
Yeah, nothing. So it's like, I want to see better from Ken Dorsey, and I know he has it in him because everybody that's ever talked about Ken Dorsey, Mikey, has given him nothing but praise. And I'm talking about going back to Carolina and Cam Newton praising the hell out of Ken Dorsey. And that was probably one of the most excited reasons why getting Ken Dorsey to Buffalo initially as a quarterback coach. That's why I was so excited, because I'm like, man, I know what he did in Carolina. I know what Cam Newton said about him. I know Cam Newton played his best football under Ken Dorsey, and he said so. And I was like, okay, it's getting this guy. And then Josh loved him. Josh also, say what you want, but when Ken Dorsey came to Buffalo, Josh Allen started to play better. His numbers started getting better. His completion percentage started getting better. And I believe that Ken Dorsey really helped his development.
Yeah, he did.
And Josh wanted him as OC. So I was all on board, man. That's why I was saying, yo, give this guy time. Our offense wasn't that bad last year. But, man, it's like, bro, you were on year 2 now of you, and you're still doing the same thing you were doing in the second half of last season, and you're not learning. Like, you're not doing anything different, and defenses are they're smart. Coordinators are there for a reason. They're going to see what you're doing. They know it's basic. There's nothing creative about your play calling. By the way, like Dan Orlovsky, I think if somebody else was saying, our offense is so predictable. Very predictable. And if it's predictable for them, it's going to be very predictable for a defensive coordinator across the way. So if you don't mix it up, it's very dangerous. And that's the reason why he fails sometimes as OC. Because he gets in a shootout with a defensive coordinator who knows what he's doing, like the Jets and the Patriots or any good Dallas, right?
Cincinnati playoff game.
Right. Right. Teams that dial it up, they know what they're doing on defense. A coordinator that's capable, he's going to shred up Ken Dorsey's offense. And that's what we see, because we could play good offense against bad teams.
Yeah, Saleh.
Yeah,
Saleh did that Monday night.
Exactly. So he has to change. Something has to change.
Yep. And then the ugly short yardage goal line. Dude, you have 2 monster backs. You have a brand new retooled offensive line. Stop going into freaking shotgun and throwing it. You have a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback.
Right.
Quarterback sneak him. We watched him do it a bunch last week. What the hell are you doing?
Right. And I think we even called a timeout, right?
I don't know. I was so
I'm
mad.
just saying we had time on that play. It wasn't like a rushed 4th down. Like, how do you dial that play call up? I don't get it. Or if you're in you know what I see too sometimes? Quarterbacks going shotgun, and then they quick go up to, and I'm good with that. If that was the play call, if Josh was in shotgun, then went up to the under center, and then went for a quarterback sneak. I've seen that plenty of times, but it wasn't the play. I honestly thought that was going to happen when he was in shotgun initially. I'm like, no, he's going to probably go up to the line and hard count him and then go. You know what I mean? Like,
that wasn't
because he's done that before.
Wasn't that after the 2-minute warning where Knox came in and pretended like he was going to take a snap and he didn't?
Yeah, he did. He never did. Yeah. And we took the penalty.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it doesn't get batted, that's a completion to Diggs and he's still running.
But it's 1 yard.
It's 1 yard. And move the chains. You're telling Josh you want him to move the chains. From an offensive coordinator standpoint, how about you help him out and move the chains for him too?
Like, once in a blue moon, I'll tell you what, once in a blue moon, I don't mind, because Dable used to do this, by the way. And when it worked, I was like, what a fucking genius. But when it didn't, I was screaming. When he would do, and some coordinators do it, and I'm okay with it, but you better make sure it works. When they do a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and they do a play action, right? Because everybody's dialed up for this run, and you hit them with a deep ball, and it goes all the way, right?
Yeah.
Very rare. And most fans are like, what are you doing? But when it works, great. But there's a time and a place.
Well,
he
went to shotgun, though. But he went shotgun. You want to do a play action and hit Diggs on a slant, fine.
Right. I agree with that too. Right.
But
be under center.
you get in the shotgun. They're like, okay, it's gonna be a quick pass. They only need 1 yard. I'm not even gonna pass rush. I'm just gonna jump up with my hands in the air. And that's what happened.
I agree with that as well. I'm just saying, like, once in a blue moon, it's okay to do a pass on like a 4th and inches or 1 if you really are trying to really, get a trick play going on there because you're going to get the defense to bite. But for the most part, 4th and inches, 4th and 1, run the damn ball.
Yep. Come in with Jessica. Feel the defense has faced 2 better defensive lines in the Jets and the Washington and the Dolphins. Listen, don't talk bad about the Dolphins defense. Tommy doesn't want to hear any of it. He loves the Dolphins.
I don't know. So listen, I think Dolphins defensive line, they got some serious pass rushers with some speed. The one thing that we on offense, especially Spencer Brown, has a difficult time with is fast edge rushers. And even their backup, Van Ginkel, whatever the hell his name is, has some speed. That is a little worrisome, but I believe they will figure a way to help out Spencer Brown when it comes down to that. I think they have good corners. I really like Howard. Howard's still one of the best corners out there. They're sticky. They make plays on the ball.
Good safeties too.
Good safeties. Now their linebackers not so hot. I'm not crazy about the linebackers. But their defense, I don't think is a pushover, but they're definitely, I don't think they're on the same level or even near a Jets or a Patriots. You see what you saw what the Chargers did against that defense. They definitely can, you definitely can put points up. But the question is, will Ken Dorsey dial it up like the Chargers dialed it up on offense against the Dolphins defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we going to play this, very basic offense? I don't know. Now, I will say this, though, Mikey. If you do play a basic offense, whatever, if he's coming out with the same game plan he's been doing week 2, week 3, if it is effective, I also don't mind because, and I'll say this, both games, we have 1 time of possession, right? One game, we had 9 minutes of on a drive. Unbelievable drive. I think that was against the Raiders. A little over 9 minutes.
We had a 9-minute drive yesterday, too.
Did we? Okay. So if it's working, the run game's going, I don't even mind that either. I just want a dub at the end of the day. But I will say this, if it doesn't work, that's when Ken Dorsey really needs to dial it up. He needs to do some in-game adjustments, and that's one thing he hasn't really done well. That's what worries me against this team coming up. But yeah, if he can come out, win time of possession, Mikey, I think you win that game. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think keeping our defense off the field, and we'll get to this on Friday, but keeping our defense off the field like we've been doing is only helping our defense, right? They're coming in the game nice, fucking energized, energy.
Yeah. Yep. So Jason says, Mikey, how good is the Miami's defense compared to Washington's defense? I think Washington has a better D line, although not by much. But Miami's secondary is far superior to Washington's secondary. I believe Miami secondary is actually the best unit on their team because they have X, they have Holland, they have another really good safety, and then I don't even know I think it's Konu or something like that is their other corner, and then they have Eli Apple too, who
He's
tends
garbage.
to.
I hate Apple.
I know, but he tends to get in Gabe Davis's head.
You're right.
He does. He gets in his head.
They do have beef. Yeah, they have beef.
They do have beef. Yeah. I think Miami's defense line is good. Their edge rushers are really good. Wilkins is dirty, and he's tough, and he's just one of those scrappy, dirty players.
Yeah.
I don't think
have they paid him yet? They haven't paid him yet, right?
No. They're not as deep as Washington's D line.
By the way, speaking of beef, Wilkinson and Allen and Dion, they don't like each other.
No.
So
because Wilkins grabbed Josh's junk and twisted.
Just a heads up, I would be almost willing to bet there's going to be some tussling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, Wilkins got booted from the game 2 years ago before it even started.
Right. Well, right.
He got ejected from the game before it even started 2 years ago because of the pregame tussles.
Right. So,
You know?
just a heads up. This is a heavyweight showdown this weekend, guys. So
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I hope the Bills can hand them a little bit of humble pie.
I do too, man.
And it's not just Miami. It's all the talking heads who have already penciled Miami in for the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, today was the worst with that. But listen, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm loving every minute of it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you putting up 70 points. I'm not. I
Kill
can't be the one. I can't be the one to hate it. But I will say, boy, if they be realistic, Dolphin fans, you've played us many times. You know the deal. You know what this Buffalo Bills team is all about. If you think that you're coming to Buffalo and doing that, like
dropping 70 on us, it ain't happening.
Yeah, right. So you're going to be in for a dogfight. However you want to feel about it, I'm telling you now, get fucking ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah. So that's how I would look at it, Jason. From the difference between the two. Miami has a better secondary, but they still have a good D line. Neither linebackers are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Great, a tongue twister. Yeah, that's what he is.
He did.
Oh, Curtis will be insufferable if they come in and win.
Oh my God. Yeah, Curtis, man. Who, by the way, he's usually very he's down in the middle and sometimes really against.
Is he riding high right now?
He is starting to feel it. I've never seen him like this. He is talking a little trash in a way. I'm like,
really?
A little bit. I'm very surprised because normally Curtis is very we're going to lose. Like he had the Dolphins losing week 1. Like he's not trusting their team. And now it's y'all better be ready. Boy, you better be ready. I'm like, whoa, Curtis, slow down, buddy. So, yeah, he's
Curtis. You guys are still chasing the monster, brother. Don't forget who's run this division multiple years in a row.
3 years in a row, right?
Until you oust us, you're still chasing the monster.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Outside of the Chargers, who have a shit defense, which I don't understand how they have a shit defense with all those stars.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
I don't understand it.
Coaching.
They haven't played. I mean, they played Belichick, and Belichick did a good job against them. They still scored points.
Talking about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I honestly, Mikey, and we're gonna get to this Friday because I don't want to give too much, but
crazy.
I really hope. Not that. Let me rewind. I thought Belichick's game plan versus the Dolphins was brilliant to start the game and how he adjusted in the second half because what he did and this is why he is one of the best coaches ever is he gave the Dolphins what they wanted to short early on. He didn't give up any big plays. They scored, but they didn't score a lot of points. Field goal, and I think they had 17.5, something like that. And the second half, he adjusted and started to attack the Tua and that offense. And I think it threw off the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins thought they were going to just come out and play their soft zone like they did their first half. And they totally changed up. And I don't think the Dolphins had an answer for a long time in that game up until the fourth quarter when they had that good run that led to a touchdown. But other than that, if you look at the air attack, Tua was not himself in that second half because they dialed it up. They changed it up. And I don't think the Dolphins were ready. So that bend don't break that Frazier did, and same kind of what Belichick did. Sometimes it is effective. It's just you gotta also do a little bit in-game adjustments throughout the game to mix it up a little bit, like Belichick did.
Sprinkle
it in when it's needed.
Yep.
And that's one thing that Frazier never did well. But if we can do that this coming up weekend against the Dolphins, I think that's I almost want to say copycat that defensive plan. Yeah. I don't mind it. Listen, if you can limit the Dolphins to 24, we have an opportunity.
I think we'll win an opportunity because we don't have the New England offense. Our offense is better than New England's.
100%, and that's my point. So
okay,
we'll talk about it Friday and more in depth.
Yep.
But
So, anyways, that's my good, bad, and ugly.
Awesome, man. Good job, brother. Always a good, bad, and ugly. I love it every week, every Monday.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else on the docket?
What's coming up this week from the Fantasy Kingdom podcast? We'll be shooting our waiver wire video tomorrow, dropping it on Wednesday. On Saturday, we go live with our sit start at 2 p.m. Eastern.
By the way, shout out to Fantasy Kingdom because you guys had your most views ever last weekend.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
So I want to say a big shout out to you and Howie for doing that because it's starting to pick up and you're getting a lot of people to watch. That's awesome to see from you guys. You guys are doing really good. So tomorrow at 7:30 is Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast. And then on Thursday is the first game preview from Mafia Means Family Podcast. That's at 7:30. Nice. That's Mini Mafia Mom. That's always Thursdays at 7:30. Then me and Mikey will be back on Friday at 8:30, and that will be the official preview show of the Bills Dolphins game. And then Saturday AFC East Shakedown, which is going to Mikey. If you can join me, I would love it because this is a big one. If you can't, no big deal.
Let me think about my schedule.
Yeah. No, we'll talk later. But this is going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be on Mafia Sports Report this weekend, 6:00 Saturday. And man, it's going to be a good one to talk about. Also, it's going to be good to hear from my buddy Kevin about his no good Jets and his no good quarterback, who I told him, and I think he's tapping out on the Zach Wilson.
The problem is they don't have anybody else there.
They don't, but I think he wants his backup. Like at this point, I agree. I would be the same way. Fuck it, throw the backup in. I don't give a shit. Like what else could go bad, right? So anyway, it's gonna be a good show Saturday, 6:00.
What you're seeing is the true Nate Hackett. Like Nate Hackett's great when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback who calls plays at the line.
Exactly.
Exactly. This looks a lot like the Denver's offense last year.
Yeah. No, I don't like him as OC at all. By the way, just a quick update before we get out of here. Bengals up 16-9 with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they have the ball. So maybe they pull it off. Rams are so bad. Boy, the Rams, by the way, Mikey, boy, they went all out, won a Super Bowl, and they sold themselves out.
They were actually doing better. There's been 2 turnovers by Stafford today that would have been deflected at the line. That's killed drives down towards the red zone.
Yeah, that's rough. And the Eagles shut down Tampa tonight, 25-11, by the way. Mm-hmm. And what's his name did not look good tonight, though he's having
Baker.
You know
who did look good?
Pretty good.
You know who did look good was Mike Evans. Can we call him up and see if can we call him up?
He actually had a bad game tonight. He was dropping some passes.
Oh, he got another touchdown at the end.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he's having a good season though. But they actually had their first turnover of the season this game. So, shout out to Baker, but he's not a very good quarterback. Anyways, guys, we're out here. We're just rambling on now. So, Bills Mafia, we love you. And I'll play the outro. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace. Okay.